hello. I was I was thinking as I was listening to the music and looking at your beautiful faces, and I was thinking of one of my grandsons when he was just a tiny little guy, and I would say, "Oh, honey, you are the apple of grandma's eye," and he just learning to talk, and he would look at me and say, "Apple." Apple. So I guess apple, apple. Oh my gosh. Okay, so much for that one. But I just can't help it. Just can't help it. Oh my goodness. I love this community so much. Those of you new today to the work is what we refer to when we are referring to self-inquiry. The work is a way to identify and question the thoughts that cause all the suffering in your world, in your life, in your life. It's a way to identify what you're thinking and believing and move it from your head to paper. So here it is. It's stop. You write it on paper, and there it is. Like, he doesn't care about me, or he hurt my feelings, or she isn't answering my email, whatever it is, from head to paper. And then we question it using these 4 questions and turnarounds. It's an exercise in stillness. It's a meditative experience in silence. And oh, it takes a lot of courage to look at oneself when we're asking ourselves, is what I'm believing about that individual true? And to recognize, yes, if it is, and then to just double check, get still, be there in that situation with that person. Can I really know that it's true? That, and we meditate in that, and the answer could still be yes, but maybe it's no. And there's no right answer other than the one that is just been delivered out of your authenticity, your authentic self. How honest can you be with yourself when you want to be right? So this is a challenge. It's where we're sitting in the ego, gently, patiently, with the ego, maybe experiencing the ego as just a terrified child looking for a home, a physical self. But ego, being a state of mind, can never be physical. But he hurt my feelings today, and I can see that situation in my mind's eye, offered up by the ego. And that thought is attached. He hurt my feelings. That thought is attached to that image as I sit here in silence and witness the cause of my suffering, the cause of my animosity, maybe, or my bitterness, or a grudge I'm holding, like for several hours, and self-inquiry. What happens? We break, the spell is broken. The spell is broken, and we notice how we react when we think the thought. How do I react when I think the thought? What happens to my attitude, etc., etc., etc. So rather than just saying anymore, let's Molly, you have a question.
Hello.
Hello, hello.
Hi, Katie.
Hi. When we turn that around, it's, oh, hell. Hello.
Oh, hell, here you are. Um, Thank you for talking with me. I've attended so many of these and I've never raised my hand before, so I'm a little
Oh,
nervous.
thank you for popping in, honey.
Yes. I have a question for you. First, I just want to thank you for how much you've helped me over the years.
Oh my, sweetie. Oh, honey, that is music to my ears. Just thank you.
Thank
Thank
you.
you. It's a life worth living as I hear that. It's a beautiful thing. So your question.
So I'm dealing with a breast cancer diagnosis.
Mhm.
It's my second, and this time it's been um, it's been a long 9 months of treatment so far.
Oh, sweet.
And I just found out yesterday that, there's going to be more treatment and
Mhm.
that it it was unexpected um, that I would be continuing on now for the next, well, probably the rest of my life, right? And at least for as far as they know, every 3 months I'll be getting a test to see if the cancer has returned. And my question for you, I've had it, I wanted my thank you of earlier was in part because as I've gone through these past 9 months, I've tuned into these calls and hearing everybody's questions and your work with them has helped ground me every time. But now, my question for me personally is sort of I'm not sure how to do the worksheet with cancer. You know, I wonder how to do the work on what I'm going through. It's not always like because I don't have like a person that I'm angry with, maybe God, I don't know, but like I don't know how to get started with the worksheet and how to do this work on
I,
the disease.
I want cancer to go away or I'm upset because I need more treatments. I'm I'm whatever the emotional is. I'm upset doesn't even seem to be enough sometimes. I'm disheartened. On on I'd
Terrified.
rather be dead than follow through with the rest of these treatments. You know, we have these thoughts and and then we notice how you react when you believe the thoughts, but I would identify the thing you don't want to do when it comes to these treatments, because as I listen to you, it seems like the treatments in store for you is right up there with on a scale of actually having cancer.
It's the treatments and also the fear I have. I feel so fearful of it coming back and of dying from it, basically. I feel a lot of fear when I
Yeah.
think about the future and uh,
Well, see, you're way ahead of where I was. You know, it's the cancer you fear. It's not it, more than the treatments that you may dread. So on so I would do a worksheet on I have cancer, even though you don't.
how so. Well, you're
Put yourself in the position of where you when you were diagnosed as having cancer and and what you were thinking and believing in that situation when they told you you have cancer, and then your ego flipped into all of the so many of the things that you've heard about people having cancer and dying from cancer and suffering from cancer, and you see that as your future. That's what the ego offers up. The doctor, you know, gives you that diagnosis, and I would sit in the situation in the most, in find that situation that just is like, oh my God, the hell I've most dreaded, for some of us, and whatever it is for you. And the doctor says, the doctor told me at one time that not just one doctor, but there were 5 of them there trying to save my life with me in hospital. And there was nothing they could do. They were losing me. And it's like everything was failing. My heart, my liver, my lungs, everything were 5 things failing that they couldn't stop, didn't know how. And they were all so concerned, so worried, because my doctor loves me, and they were all taking that on as much for me, for her as me, but as I saw it. And there was one person in there that had no problem with it, and that was me. Why? Because I have no fear of death. Why don't I have a fear of death? I have done this work, and I can see that death is a state of mind. And I don't say this lightly, just like fear is a state of mind. So if you fear death, you can take yourself from a meditative state where you're still, you can take yourself to that place where they're unable to heal it. They've tried everything. You're dying of cancer. Your family's there. If you have family, there nothing. You go to that place you fear, that place you dread, and you fill in the worksheet from that position as though it's happening now as you're filling in the worksheet. And then you sit in that worksheet and live those turnarounds for the wants, needs, and shoulds as you're working it. Work it first, because living the turnarounds before we work it, it just doesn't work that way. There's not one thing in this work, not one step to skip if you really, if you want to give you your best. And do it from that position where they just can't save you and you're dying. And 4 questions and turnarounds with everything you filled in on your worksheet. Lovingly, patiently, with an open mind. In my world, that's what sickness and disease is all about. Here in Earth School, it's setting ourselves free from what we imagine to be true about this body, this body we call ours, and the world. And it's you're in a position of having experienced cancer and it being healed, and the fear of it coming back. And so just bring it back on that worksheet and take it to the end of what you dread most, what you fear most, and fill in the worksheet from there. And that's if I ever had a trick, I don't have another word that's available. But if I ever had what is the trick to life? I just gave it to you. And why do I say it's impossible for me to die? It's so many reasons, but when you go to sleep at night and you're not dreaming, and then you wake up in the morning and the ego begins, I'm awake, I'm late for work, I want coffee, I need to pee. It's all there. And for all you know, you were born in that moment in time, and the ego is offering up a parent history in your head. Other than that, it's like born. every moment born into this amazing world. And when you're asleep at night, you're not dreaming. Where's the problem? The ego is resting as though you don't even exist. No problem, no problem, no problem. So contemplate these things. And if you ask Keith, maybe he'll send this part of the dialogue to you so you can so we can kind of hang out together while you're sitting in it, as long as you need me.
Thank you, Katie.
Oh, honey, such a privilege to sit with you.
Thank you.
Death is death is a state of mind, just like life.
Mm.
And death is a state of life. When I mention, you wake up in the morning and I am awake, and where's your proof that you weren't born in that moment? Ego. And then to be in the world, you just, I slept last night, I woke up and oh my gosh, I only got 3.5 hours sleep, but it's so far so good. Next night, oh my gosh, I got 8 hours sleep, all is well, whatever the ego wakes up with. Yeah, I am. I didn't get enough. I got too much. Sweetie, and as I'm talking to you as well, it's like this morning, my pattern is to get up and walk. And this morning, and I'm certainly not surprised, but um, I'm putting on my tennies, you're getting ready to walk, and then I start slowing down. I say, oh, I don't think I'll walk today. And ego starts in, just oh, it's just so enticing. And I just kind of, we have a relationship, the ego, and what I imagine as me. It's like the ego's job is to stop me from, it's to rule my world. And so I just kind of thank it for sharing and say, oh, you don't have to do this walk. I'll do it without you, and you're welcome to come, or whatever it is. But they're not really thoughts I'm thinking, it's experience. I'm not at war with the ego. That's the point. And I walk. What stops me? All of you, what stops me from living a full life? My ego talks me out of it. It'll offer up some kind of the equivalent of something fearful on a scale from 1 to 10, everything from minor irritation to hell, and to impossible, and seemingly impossible. And we can move that from our head to paper and get to know the ego, in a way that we don't have to kill it. We don't have to kill it. Who would kill a baby crying for attention when it just needs a little understanding, a little bottle, a little pacifier, a little love, little understanding. Oh, honey, thank you for popping into our lives.
Thank you. Thank you.
Welcome. Oh, William, honey, you have a question.
Hi, Katie.
Hi,
Hi,
William.
everyone. How are you doing? Thank you so much.
I'm doing as well as I can.
Yes, you are. No mistake.
No
Um,
mistake.
so my name is Bill, and I'm a clinical social worker, and I work with suicidal veterans, and I
Oh,
facilitate the work.
honey. Oh, thank you for that.
Yeah. And I feel a lot of my work is facilitating the work with them. And I wanted your advice on just veterans or just people who absolutely believe that they are bad people, and there is no it seems often that there's no facilitating them to see the truth.
So are you saying they're feeling guilty?
Oh,
Is-
absolutely. Yeah. It's like,
Yeah.
something happened that should not have happened, or something didn't happen that should have happened.
Yeah.
And the belief that they are absolutely,
Irretrievable.
they are irretrievable, and there's no facilitation that I can do often sometimes to help them see the untruth.
Yeah. Well, assuming you've done your work, you're qualified to, your own inner work, then you're qualified to sit with them and take them where I'm about to what I'm about to share with you when I'm working with veterans. I take them into that place that horrifies them, that place they feel so guilty over, even though there could be like many incidents. I take them into one that they, the trauma really.
Mm-hmm.
And I take them into that time and place. And I fill in the worksheet as they give me their thoughts. I fill it in one belief at a time. I don't have them do it. And they can see I'm moving their words to paper, not mine. And in that situation where for example, where you're throwing the grenade, after hearing, this group of the enemy that it's your job to annihilate as your job, and to fill in, and let's say he threw it or she, then it's you fill in the worksheet from that situation that was in their head just before they did the thing they think they didn't want to do, the thing that went against them. However, they have vowed to do their job. They have committed to that. So it works. It works. And well, of course, the worksheets filled in, and then you take them through. You don't leave that situation. As you keep them anchored in the situation, you question one belief at a time on that worksheet 1 through 6. And it's extremely radical because you're taking them into the trauma. But they've got the courage. If they got the courage to do what they did, maybe they wouldn't call it courage, but the courage to do their job, the one they committed to. And so many of them did what wasn't required of them. You don't know what you're getting into with anyone, but with veterans, it's they've got really powerful weapons that they're sworn to use. And oh, honey, I'm telling you, I'm so glad you popped in, because I have worked so much with VA in the past, veterans, and within hospitals, and then veterans out of hospitals as well. But I've never known one that wasn't willing to take the trip. But it is your connection with them that gives them the courage. Because if you have the courage to go there, and I get that you do, Bill, then you can take that trip with them and hold them in that situation. And if you have some kind of experience yourself, take you there first, and just to see. I wouldn't expect anyone I worked with to go where I'm unable to go.
So I'm a veteran of 35 years in the Special Forces. And my question to you is, my question to you is, when I facilitate the work with another veteran who's suicidal, do you advise that I bring in my own experiences of working with unworthiness and how I saw it, or should I not bring in my
Oh,
own?
that's priceless.
Okay.
Your experience in
Okay.
self-inquiry, that's priceless because that's it's doing the work takes courage because you're up against you're up against something more powerful than bullets, the ego.
Mhm. Yeah. Yeah. Very, very powerful.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yes.
Okay. Well, thank you so much.
So I love that you are out there so
Yeah.
much. I just,
Thank
I,
you.
I just,
Yeah.
uh,
Well, thank you so much for sharing your wisdom.
yeah.
Yeah, I really appreciate that. And so do
Mm.
lots of other people that I work with. So thank you.
Oh, thank you, William.
Mhm.
Oh boy, you guys are killing me. Um, Guther, you have a question? Is that
Hi, Katie.
Guther? Is that how you pronounce your name?
Gutierrez.
Guther.
Gutierrez. Yeah, it's okay. It doesn't matter.
Someone named me. I didn't have a choice. I guess I did, but I've stayed with it.
I'm so happy to talk to you. And I have one question.
Uh-huh.
In one of your books, you speak about, I think it's um, I Need Your Love. Is it true? You speak about a child in ourselves that we need to love. And I was wondering, what is it exactly? How do you see it? Is it the ego, or
So would
what
you
is
say
this child?
would you repeat, you say that I speak about loving the inner child as an
Yeah,
ego?
yeah. So,
Yeah, and the ego is just looking for a home. The ego is a state of mind. And it wants to be something like physical. And it can't be a cup because the cup doesn't have motion. So ego isn't gonna, it's not in Earth School. It's of service to Earth School. But the ego, that state of mind, is I can't do war with it because it would win. I can't stop my mind. I can't take my brain out and talk to it and say, oh, or threaten it or anything. It doesn't, it just goes, it would be laughable. You can't stop a state of mind. We use drugs and alcohol and all kinds of addictions, but it doesn't stop the state of mind. It can make it seem bearable, but even that backfires on us because the ego will override anything. So, loving the inner child, is that the ego? It is for me because I am having a love affair with that state of mind. And who is the I having that loving experience with that state of mind? It is an inquiring mind. I can let's say I'm very upset and I don't have the work. I'm very upset and I've tried everything. Maybe I can just touch my cheek and go, "Oh, honey, it's okay. It's okay. It's going to be okay." And that does, it can calm me down maybe, but the ego is going to override it. It's going to get stronger in my experience because I had a, it's, it's, it's a trance, a hypnotic trance. So loving the inner child would be to love the ego that for me is the inner child. The ego is a terrified child just looking for a home. So as I do the work with the ego, just as I described to Molly earlier, and to Bill, that ego from my head to paper, that's respectful. That's honoring my inner child, the one that is in terror. Everything from mild irritation to terror. And I lovingly move that from my head to paper. That's like bringing the baby forward, not rejecting the baby, that inner child that is just wanting to be something that it can never be, the physical body. Mind is not body. And then when we filled in a worksheet and we sit in that, we're really working with the ego. Even though, let's say, I'm judging him or her or them, he hurt my feelings, and to get in touch with the emotional. You see, it's like he hurt my feelings. So I filled in number 1. So you see how I'm in communion with my ego? So now my inner child is being heard, respected, not shut down and argued with, and there's no war going on. I'm moving it from ego from my head to paper as I fill in this worksheet. It really is love making, and it takes courage. And then when I question it, and here's why I'm taking so much time with this, Luther, it's when I question, and I've completed that worksheet, eventually, my mind, that inner child, the ego, sees I'm not trying to kill it. That's acceptance, it's understanding. And once the ego gets, I'm not trying to kill it, it can rest, and has rested in my heart. The ego is looking for a home. It wants to be physical. I am Byron Katie. I am. Okay. But these 4 questions and turnarounds, the ego can never be this body, but it can find a home in itself, the heart. That's all it's looking for, the end of war. And it rests here. So now there's not 2. There's not the ego in me. There's not 2. This is non-duality. I am. It seems. No war. Maybe you've heard the expression, the war with the self. Well, I just described to you how to end the war with your inner child.
Hey, thank you so much.
You're very
It's very
welcome.
clear.
In my world, the ego has the last word, and that last word for me is, "Oh, honey, I left you out. I'm gonna, let's look at that together." And I move it from my head to paper, and we've got a thing going on where we're not separate.
Mm.
Thank you, Guda.
Thank you so much. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Aaron.
Hi,
Hey,
can you hear
Aaron.
me?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Oh, awesome. I have an example that I'd like to work through. It feels a bit petty,
Oh, the ego,
Yeah.
sometimes the petty is all powerful and not so petty, and what seems so petty.
So I tried to work through the worksheet with this, and I think I'm so familiar with my own scenario that maybe it's not working very well. So should I just tell you the
Read number one.
situation?
Yeah, yeah. Read number one
Okay.
and then give us the situation.
Okay. I'm angry with my sister because she puts me in a bad situation when she drinks, and I just don't like her very much when I have to be around her when she drinks.
Yeah. So, and the situation?
The specific situation that caused me to
The
to
situation in your mind's eye when you're filling in the worksheet?
like she shouldn't drink.
Well, you're angry at your sister because she puts you in a bad situation when she drinks. Okay, so anchor in a situation in your mind's eye where that's exactly what was happening. She's
Yes.
putting you in a situation and she's drinking and you're there
Yep.
and you yeah. So where are you? Are you in her home, in your home? Are you out in public at a coffee shop? Um,
We're in public. She's being reactive and mean to me.
and where are you? Are you
We're in a restaurant and she's being reactive and mean,
okay?
repeating stories that
So
she's
slow it
already told
down.
me.
So slow it down. You're in a restaurant, and are you sitting at a table or in a booth?
We're sitting at a table.
You're sitting at a table, and when you look at the tables around you, are you somewhat in the middle or off in the perimeters? No,
We're we're in a restaurant bar and our table is close to the bar and there's some other tables that are around us.
okay, and it's just the two of you.
Uh-huh.
Okay, so now you're anchored in the situation.
Okay.
All of you, when you're filling in a worksheet, stay anchored in the situation. See it clearly in your mind's eye. The time, the place, the person, the people, and
Okay.
anchor there before you even fill in the worksheet, because that's how you fill in 1 through 6 on your worksheet. Anchored there. Okay, so she puts you in a bed, and she's been drinking.
Hmm.
Okay, she puts you in a bad situation. Is it true?
I feel like the right answer is no,
Okay,
because I
no.
feel like
Okay, so this is I'm so glad you raised your hand, Aaron, because you're doing what a lot of us do when we start. So anchor there, look at her, hear the level of her voice. Is she, is just look at her. Now look at the people that maybe you see she's offending or drawing their attention to the two of you. Okay, she puts you in a bad situation. So the answer, all of you have to be there in that situation to answer these questions honestly, because they're shown to you. She puts you in a bad situation. In that situation, she puts you in a bad situation. Is it true? And the answer,
no.
oh, okay. So now when
I'm
you're
putting myself in that situation.
okay, so I'll ask you again and feel the no. This is an exercise in stillness. It's either yes or no, and stay anchored. Be there now with her. She puts you in a bad situation. Is it true? One word. You see the answer. You see what you've become aware of. What is true for you as you ponder in that situation? She put you in a bad situation. Is it true?
No.
So feel it. Notice the difference. No more rhetoric. You just answered the first question. And feel it. Now notice how you react. Notice your emotional. Notice what happens. Notice how you treat her. Notice how you treat yourself. Notice, become aware of as you anchor there now, how you react. What happens when you think the thought? She's
When
put you in
I
a bad
that it, that
situation.
I'm judge, jury, and executioner, and I know, like, so I don't drink, and I think that's part of the issue is that I know that that is not good for me. That is not something that I do. So then I get really judgy about her, and 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 like in my mind I know that separating us and being anything besides a person among people separates me from God, but getting it from my head to my heart has been impossible.
Well, we're just anchoring now, seeing why it's not possible. Notice your attitude toward her when you think the thought, she puts me in a bad situation and she's drinking and you're not. Notice your attitude toward her.
I feel like she's
No, not I feel. Notice your attitude toward her.
I treat her like she's less than. I treat her poorly. I make assumptions that I couldn't possibly know the answer to. I treat her really poorly. I'm not the sister that I claim to be.
So just be there now and look at your sister without the thought, she puts me in a bad situation, because we already see it's not true. Look at her without the thought, she puts me in a bad situation. Listen to her, get in touch with her. It doesn't matter how many drinks she's had. Look at her. It doesn't matter how outlandish. Look at her just the way she is in that situation, without the thought, she puts me in a bad situation. Would you be without that thought? I mean, you're there anyway.
Right.
You can afford this.
Right.
So close your eyes. Be there now without the thought, she puts me in a bad situation. Listen to her words. Look at her actions. Look at her. Maybe she's ordering another drink, hasn't finished the one she's got. Listen, is she loud? Is she obnoxious? Or is she just tipsy? Is she just, notice without the thought, she puts me in a bad situation?
Yeah, she's just animated. And
Now
I
look
guess it
and look around at the people sitting in tables near you. or the waiters, people passing by or near without the thought she puts me in a bad situation.
I don't know that I would even notice them. I don't think they notice us. Yeah. You
Now
know,
go
the
back.
waiter's happy.
So go back to how you react when you think the thought she puts me in a bad position. Let's toggle back there again. Notice how you may be imagining what people are thinking of you, what people are thinking about her, about the two of you. And when we look at who would you be without the thought, no one is,
Yeah, they're not.
there's
They're
no
not paying any attention.
reputation to save when you look at yourself there. And when you're believing it, notice how you treat your sister.
Yeah.
Disregard, disregarding,
Disdain.
disdain.
Yeah.
She puts me in a bad situation, turned around. I
Put me in a bad situation. I put her in a bad situation.
see you're moving, you're not doing self-inquiry now. You're looking for turnarounds before pondering those turnarounds.
Okay.
They're precious. This is an exercise in stillness from start to finish, and you're doing it well, and I'll continue to hold you. She puts me in a bad situation. I put me in a bad situation. Now be there now. Give me an example of how you have put you in a bad situation.
Where it's, I mean, I guess even in that scenario, I don't feel like I really put me in a, like
But
I was
as
going to go to dinner anyway, you know? So in that situation, if I really thought I was putting myself in a bad situation, I
so
I
now
would,
you're using logic. So I put me in a bad situation. Were you aware when you said yes to that?
yes, I
Bar?
was aware. I
Your
was aware.
sister, chances are the alcohol's
Yep.
right there at the bar. Chances are
Yep.
she'll drink.
Yep. Yes, I was aware.
You see the difference between sitting in those turnarounds and what you were guessing at? I mean, not that what you were saying wasn't in some way correct, but in this work, you deserve to be aware of what you will hold all the days of your life, and that is you love your sister.
Yeah, I do.
She put me in a bad situation. Turn around, I put me in a bad situation. You said yes.
Yeah.
And knowing, chances are,
Hmm.
and you didn't suggest another restaurant, or maybe you did, and you still agreed.
Yeah, in I've put up a boundary in the past where I don't spend evenings with her because I know this, and I
So
didn't.
yeah, you put you in a bad situation you put you in that situation. And for you, it was bad when you look at your state of mind. It was
Hmm.
like a setup.
Yeah. Yeah.
You set you up and you set her up.
Hmm.
You knew, chances are. And
Yeah.
She put me in a bad situation. Turn around. I put her in a bad situation. So give me an example there.
Oh, I feel like that's true. I feel like I did put her in a
Now we're into discussion again.
okay.
Example. I put her in
I
a
put
bad
her
situation. In that situation, I put her in a bad situation.
because I knew I was going to come with judgment. So I knew she was going to drink and I knew I was going to come with judgment, and therefore she's in a position to be treated poorly by me.
Yeah. So just notice this is big stuff. It's like you set her up, and you're just like the rest of us, in all of our piety, we set people up and we are absolutely asleep to it. And we use them to prove, that she is that and I am this, and I'm the victim and she's the perpetrator.
Mm-hmm.
And doesn't she see that, whatever it is, we're trying to show them, that leaves us as the teacher, the
Mm-hmm.
do-writer. She put me in a bad situation. Another example of, and ponder this, I put her in a bad situation.
Well, I think my judgment would potentially make her feel bad or guilty, or which wouldn't feel very good.
In which case you can go back and say, my treatment of you in that situation, I don't know if you even noticed it or not, but my treatment of you, it's, I'm just, I feel like I was disrespectful. Or if it's, if you're just landing in it, it's like I was disrespectful.
Mm-hmm.
And I apologize for that. I was punishing, and I apologize for that. And obviously, I need your help. The next time you see me with that attitude toward you, please point it out, because I don't ever want to hurt you or any other human being. And you could really help me with that. You see, it's like she was drunk with her drinking and you were drunk with your thinking.
Mm-hmm. I wonder if on some level I'm worried. Like, I've been sober for almost 13 years. Like, am I worried that her drinking is going to cause me to drink? I don't know.
Interesting to contemplate. Interesting to, you made the date to meet her sitting in a bar cafe.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I could have easily, I mean, that was her suggestion. I could have said, let's meet at Starbucks, you know?
Yeah.
I
Or
feel like,
if there's good food in that bar restaurant, you can go as a whole new you. Just don't be shocked when she is who she is,
yeah, right.
especially as a recovering alcoholic yourself.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that's what
Mm-hmm.
we recover from, our states of
Sorry.
mind. Yeah.
I think that's what
So,
I
honey, how
get,
recovered are you
apparently not very. I mean,
in that situation?
mm-hmm.
Oh, don't sell yourself short. You have come miles in from where I'm sitting. But there's For all of us, there are ways to go. Alcoholism is a state of mind
Yeah.
to recover.
Yeah.
Just like drug addiction, just like any
Mhm.
addiction.
Mhm.
And addiction is nothing more than we're lost in the ego's world.
Thank you.
She put me in a bad situation. She put me in this situation. She put me in a great situation.
I get a chance to learn, and I can, I mean, we have a good relationship and we have great conversations, and I get like,
And she's probably fun and funny.
oh,
It's just that
100%.
she's just not perfectly perfect yet.
She's not me.
Yeah. Let's look at two. In that situation, at the table where you're believing that she put you in a bad situation, what do you want her to think, say, feel, or do? And what did you fill in for number two?
I want her to recognize that drinking is really bad for her. It's caused so many consequences for her.
You want her to recognize that drinking is bad for her. Be there at the table. Be there now, anchored in the situation. Is it true that you wanted her to recognize drinking is really bad for her?
That feels true. That is true for me, that I wanted her to recognize that.
Okay, and drop in another level. Double check. Is it true you want her to recognize drinking is really bad for her? Or were you more interested in her seeing that she's out of control and putting you in a bad situation?
Right. I think part of it too is like, I would like her to see that my way of life is better.
Okay,
I know it's so arrogant, but
so you want her to recognize that drinking is really bad for her. How do you react? How do you treat her when you think the thought? I want her to recognize drinking is really bad for her, and I'm here to teach her that.
exactly. That's how I react, is still better than now. And I'm like, I have the solution.
Yeah. It's like an unrecovered alcoholic trying to sober up another alcoholic.
Right. Right. Yeah. I mean, like, I have some, magic in that moment, and it might be perfect for her.
Okay, so be with your sister just the way she is. I'm speeding this along in the
Yeah, I'm
intro.
sorry. I know we're close to the time.
Oh, honey, from where I sit, you have not wasted one moment of my time. Not
Thank you.
one moment. You want her to recognize drinking is really bad for her. Be there at the table with your sister. Don't try to change her. She's doing what you knew she'd do. Who would you be without the thought? Just having lunch with your sister without the thought, I want her to recognize drinking is really bad for her. Just give her life.
I'd be able to listen to what she's
Okay,
actually
so,
saying.
so do it now. This work is about being anchored in that time and place.
So I can be proud of her and happy for her for the success coming off of a week.
So who would you be without the thought, I want her to recognize drinking is really bad for her? And now just close your eyes, be there. Without the thought, I want her to recognize drinking is really bad for her. What do you see?
I see me as a really supportive and loving sister that can hear all about the busy week that she had and her successes and be happy for her.
So are you listening? Is that what she was saying? Is that what she was really saying? Telling you about her week?
She was.
Oh,
Yeah.
good. Okay, so
Yeah, she
you're in the
was.
work. You're not making anything up. Yeah.
No, she was just telling me about her
So,
great week.
so listen now. Be there now. Relive it without the thought, I want her to recognize drinking is really bad for her. Be with your sister just the way she is. And you've already noticed the people around and the waiters, they're not concerned with her behavior. So just be at home with your sister. She drinks
Mm-hmm.
and she's sharing her life.
Yeah. Yeah. And she's one of the kindest, most empathetic people that I know.
So be there now with that sister.
Yeah, I feel it.
Okay, so that's what it's like to sit in. Who would you be in that situation without the thought, I want her to recognize drinking is really bad for her? It's like you're no longer the teacher, you're the student. You're listening to her life.
Okay. Yeah.
See, that's sobriety.
Mm-hmm.
One of you is sober.
Right. And like, kind of, so what, right? I mean,
And when you
great,
look
but
at the thoughts on your worksheet, you're both you're both Mm. Again, alcoholism is like any addiction, is about our thinking and how we react. Let's look at 3. In that situation, to get what you wanted, which was her to recognize she put you in a bad situation, what advice would you give her to get what you want? To recognize that drinking is really bad for her.
well,
She should or she shouldn't in that situation.
with that original thinking.
Oh, well, you have to anchor in that time and place to do this work. So I consistently take you back to that situation. Anything less than that would not be this work. It would just be shooting from the hip. We're looking at the cause of your suffering, guilt, whatever it is, in that situation. So always anchor there. Be patient. She should, she shouldn't. What advice would you offer her?
The advice that I would offer is that
At the
I,
table, it was
at,
running in your head. It was running.
well, it was, you really oughta quit drinking. You really oughta, you really, it's not going to help you reach your weight loss goals. It's not going to, like, you really oughta just quit
Okay,
drinking.
so we're into shoulds, and oughtas are like shoulds, but
Yeah.
you should. So we stay in the guidance of self-inquiry, because I found it's the most supportive. But she should quit drinking. Be there now
Mm-hmm.
at the table. She's ordering another drink. She should quit drinking. Is it true? Maybe she's not ordering another drink. Maybe she's just on you're thinking she's putting you in a bad situation. She should quit drinking. Is it true? Can you really know that it's true? Or even best for her?
No, no. It's helping her cope. What?
Okay, so
It's
now
not.
we're in the discussion again. We're not doing
Sorry.
the.
So
Oh,
no, it's, I
yeah.
can't know. I can't know it's true. I cannot know that's true. There's no way I could know that's true.
Okay, so get quiet. She should quit drinking. Look at her. She's overweight. There's a drink in front of her. Maybe she's ordering another one, whatever the situation. She should quit drinking. Notice in that situation how you react, what happens. Notice those images of past, future. Notice what happens and how you treat her when you think the thought she should quit drinking and she's not. She's drinking.
It's almost like I gave myself a license to always be superior. Like as if
And the
like
question is, how does that look? How do you treat her? What do you say? What do you do? What is your attitude?
I treat her like an errant child. And I don't listen either. I don't really hear anything that she's saying important or I'm not hearing anything because all I can do is look at her and think, you should not be drinking.
Wow. Wow, that sounds like alcoholism.
Doesn't it?
Drunk, drunk with our thinking.
Mm-hmm.
She should quit drinking. So be there with her. Don't change anything other than as you witness. Who would you be without the thought she should quit drinking when she's ordering another drink or whatever it is when you're thinking the thought she should quit drinking? Who would you be without the thought on that lunch date? So be with your sister. It's never too late just to be there. Is she fun? Is she funny? Is she is
Yes. I
okay,
mean,
so just get still. Give you your sister back without the thought she should quit drinking.
I'm actually able to ask more. Like she'd be telling me something and I could actually ask questions about what she's telling me to dig deeper, to hear more, to better understand. Because I wouldn't have the clutter and the constant judgment.
You'd be present.
I'd be present and I'd be, yeah,
Sober,
present.
sober, not intoxicated with all those thoughts running through your head that we're looking at on this worksheet. Hearing about her life, asking questions about her life, the two of you laughing together.
Yeah. Hmm.
Intimate.
I'd look forward to more time with her. It's like we'd be planning the next adventure, whatever it would be.
Because there are two ways to plan those adventures. And one is with you sober, and the other is with you drunk with your thinking. And she brings out all kinds of worksheets in you. Because
Yes, she does.
it's like all of you. If you want to meet a friend, find an enemy.
Mm-hmm.
They'll point out and bring up in you what you haven't worked through yet.
Yeah. Is it common to sort of backslide on these things?
Oh, absolutely. She could give you so many worksheets, I couldn't even count them.
Yeah.
She's, sisters like that are my teachers.
Yeah.
My sister, my brother, my mother, my father, my friends, teachers, all. You are my teacher today.
Thank you.
Mm. So let's look at 4. She should quit drinking. Another turnaround, she should not quit drinking in that situation. You're giving her every reason to drink.
Oh, I didn't even think of that. Oh, who wouldn't drink if they could, I guess. Oh, I didn't even think of that. Yeah, if she's feeling judged by me,
How could she not if you're judging her?
yeah.
She knows you. She knows that look.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
She knows that tone of voice.
She's told me that.
Uh-huh. Let's look at 3. She should quit drinking. Is it true?
No.
So,
No.
so feel that. There's your sister. She should quit drinking. No,
No.
not short of some kind of miracle or some sort of
If she
great.
wants to. I mean, it's
Well,
not.
no, with your thinking, it gives an alcoholic reason to drink. It's
Yeah.
hard. It's hard, and it doesn't make it your fault. It's just that unconditional love, we don't accept people when they stop drinking and punish them until they do. That's an old way. And
Right.
it, and it's like someone, I don't know. It's just so odd that we think punishing the people we love will in some way sort them out.
Right.
Oh gosh. So honey, let's look at 4. What do you
Okay.
need to be happy in that situation, sitting at the table with your sister? To be happy, I need my sister too.
There wouldn't have been anything that could have made me happy in that situation.
Wow.
There wouldn't have been, because she was already drinking. Like I had made up my mind. There was nothing going to make me happy in that situation.
What about to be happy? I need her to stop embarrassing me. Because your number 1 was, I'm angry with my sister because she puts me in a bad situation.
Mm-hmm.
And you
Mm-hmm.
were, were, your thoughts were about what are the waiters thinking? What are the people around us thinking about me, about her, about. So in that situation, would you need to be happy? I need her to what? Stop embarrassing me?
Maybe stop being overly animated, stop being as loud as she is. Um, and I'm imagining a scenario where she does those things, but I think I would still sit as judge. I think I would. That's what I mean when I'm like,
Stay anchored in that time and place. And notice how you just went away and started analyzing, not right or wrong, and just come back to the situation, that restaurant, that time and place with your sister, just the way she was. You need her to stop being overly animated. and to stop being loud.
And
What-
to cut it short and like suggest we leave and go for a walk or do something besides sit there and drink.
No, we're talking about your sister, not the sister of your imagination. She's where she wants to be in that situation. You know what it's like when when the drink is gone and you're there with your sister and it's so much fun and you order another drink. You've been there. And she's sitting with someone that is having no piece of it.
Right. Right.
That's who she's at lunch with.
Mm-hmm.
So let's just experience this turnaround in the interest of time in that situation. So imagine you there and close your eyes, and I'll say the words for the turnaround that the need to be happy and follow the situation in your mind's eye. I need me to stop being overly animated regarding my sister. Okay, so
Oh,
all the animation, the look you give her, the teachers, the teacher to the pupil thing, all of that. To be happy, I need me to stop being loud about it, even though I may be whispering. And need me to stop being loud, letting my judgments, my disdain show. To be happy, I need me to cut this short. To be happy, I need me to do something else, not to judge her.
that feels so peaceful.
Yeah, because it's the extreme opposite of your words, of what you thought would make you happy. I think you're onto something. Because there's nothing she could think, say, feel, or do that would change your mind, that you wouldn't project drinking onto her again.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Mm.
Okay, sweetie, let's look at
Thank
5.
you.
In that situation, what were your thoughts about her? At that table, in that situation, my sister is. And your judgments, be there now. Look at her. She is. Is she loud?
She's loud. She's, you know, she's
Animated?
drunk, animated, drunk, loud, um, you know, overweight, all, I mean, I feel really like I feel badly even saying this out loud.
Well, it's the work. It takes a lot of courage, even sitting alone where we're not being witnessed. I mean, these thoughts, who, me? I'm thinking this? No, I'm being thought. This is what the ego's offering up. And where did we
Oh,
learn it? There's not one new thing there. We've seen the same words you're thinking on our televisions, on any screens, on in the movies, in the next door neighbors, with our parents. I mean, there are no new stressful thoughts here. They're all recycled.
mhm.
So we're programmed. We're
Well, and there's no new thought about me for my sister in any of this too. I've been saying this the whole time, all of these things.
Mhm. So to be happy, so live this turnaround, be there in that restaurant with your sister. Don't change anything. Be with your sister. To be happy, I need me to stop being overly
animated and
Mhm.
loud and hold. I need me to stop holding expectations,
And cut those judgments short.
and I need to cut the judgment short
Uh-huh. And to do something else, like listen as opposed to,
as opposed to judge.
yeah, just be with your sister just the way she is. You don't have to make nice, just presence. A student, a sister, connected. And I need me not to drink.
I need me not to drink.
Yeah.
That's the absolute truth.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. So I don't ever want to experience, no, my sister is loud, drunk, animated, and overweight. Turned around, my sister is not loud. So now notice in that situation, she could have been very, very loud, but notice if you can find one place where she wasn't loud, where she was maybe trying to get something across to you. And
Yeah. Oh yeah, absolutely.
okay.
And she wasn't loud the whole time,
Wow, wow, wow. The
you
ego would
know?
take 1% of something, the other 90% isn't so, and the ego would take that 1%. And she was loud, she embarrassed me, but so much of that is she's going to continue to be loud, but
Mhm.
that's not your sister. That is what you're thinking and believing of the future. And so, what embarrasses us, what we're thinking and believing, or our sister? So, my so in that situation, my sister is drunk and turned around. In that situation, I am.
Well, with my thinking, to your point.
There it is. I'm drunk with my thinking. Doesn't take alcohol for some alcoholics that don't really get sober.
Mhm.
Alcoholism is a state of mind, like drug addiction, like, we just want this head to stop.
Right.
And we resort to marrying people or in relationships that we think will solve it. I mean, we look for everywhere in the world for peace of mind.
Mhm.
Like,
Mhm.
I'll be happy when my cancer is healed, or I'll be happy when, I get the answer. I will be happy when my sister gets sober. Oh, in that situation, I am animated. So check that out. Sometimes not saying a word, but our physical attitude.
She's even told me, she's like, your whole body language,
Is
um,
disapproving.
and it's hurtful for her. It's so hurtful.
And it's hurtful for you.
Yeah, it is.
You're giving her something to drink over, not some kind of lesson that, I mean, who knows what way she's going to go there.
Mhm. Mhm.
My sister is overweight. Turned around. I am.
I am overweight, and I,
And
it's not,
have you had that thought?
oh yeah, oh yeah.
Some people, if they're like 3 ounces more when they get on the scale than they were the day before, are, oh my God, oh my God,
Yeah.
oh my God. It just can be terrifying. It's a state, terrified. It's a state of mind.
Mhm.
And let's say you're even underweight.
Mhm.
And my sister is overweight, turned around, I'm overweight. Well, no, I'm not. So let me ponder that. I'm overweight. You know, when your pants are a little too tight, even though you haven't gained weight, oh my God. I mean, just
Mhm.
these things are to be pondered. They're addiction. The ego is all about identification, body identification.
I think my that maybe the weight of my thinking, you know, it's like I've spent a lifetime. I think I've been losing the same 15 pounds for 40 years.
Yeah,
So
but
I,
where am I overweight? What I was thinking and believing in that situation, honey,
yeah,
that was, from where I sit, that was a brilliant find.
yeah, it's heavy. It's heavy, and I carry it around every time I'm with her.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Mm. So you're meeting her sister. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And you're noticing it's nothing more than an unquestioned state of mind in that situation. Because there's no doubt about how much you love her to show up. It's not all about, you know, the ego's world. It is, there's love.
Yeah,
The ego would take that and do war with it.
it is.
It's like it's fear of non-existence for the ego identification. My sister is loud, drunk, animated, overweight. And then on your own time, sit in opposites.
Okay.
My sister is loud. My sister was quiet. And you know, you can just get in touch with those moments that seem like she was never quiet. You'll see spaces where she was listening and
Hmm. Well, she also is quiet about maybe things that are really important that she doesn't feel like she can share.
oh my goodness. Wow.
Like you
Wow.
can't share with somebody who's constantly judging you.
You know, there are other ways to love, but it takes a lot of courage to love beyond the ego. But it becomes the gift of inquiry, to just notice the cause of not love and question it, and it just leaves love, you know, and for me, that's a term of connected, understanding, compassion, wisdom, all terms for connection, love. You know, here's how the ego lives. It's like you're questioning your thoughts, and to my mind, some of these just don't apply any longer because you're awake to them.
Mm-hmm.
And life without that, you know, lunch again with your sister will give you what's left. It'll give you another worksheet.
Yeah. Yeah.
to your lives and to your life, and you can let her know that. You don't have to let her know why that you're there to judge her, but just noticing on what it's like to be with your sister out of a whole new realized mind, and she'll give you what's next to work on. Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Oh, honey, let's look at 6 in that situation. What is it you never want to experience with your sister again? In that situation, I don't ever want.
I don't ever. I I don't. I think at this point, it's. I don't ever want to judge her like that again.
I'm willing to.
I'm willing to. I'm willing to let her
No,
be.
I'm willing to judge her like that again,
I'm willing to judge her like that again.
because it will give you a worksheet, another worksheet. It's not done.
Okay.
It's done. And I
Okay.
look forward to,
I look forward to judging her again.
yeah, because it's going to separate. It's a lack
Okay.
it's a lack of love. And the ego will convince you it's only because I care for her that I'm like this. Just
Right.
thank it for sharing and say, there's got to be another way. Let's do the work.
Yeah. Yeah.
For me, these worksheets to work them on, it's an act of love. Yeah.
Thank
Oh,
you.
oh, honey, thank you. Thank you for being one of our great teachers today. And thank you for your courage.
Thanks
And
for doing this with me.
and for showing us the love of sister. You're not alone, but you just keep
She's so
showing
fun.
up, honey.
Thank you.
Oh, Dina, honey, your takeaway. Heather, your takeaway.
I'm just stopping.
Hmm.
Hi, Katie.
Hi, Heather. Your
Oh
takeaway,
my God.
courageous
Um,
moment.
I want to thank you for all the work you do, and that I do the work every week, 2 or 3
Oh,
times with other people. And I just I wanted to say it's just wonderful to gather a group around you that does the work. And then anytime you have something come up, you can get over it in a day.
oh,
Just one work.
yeah,
In
yeah.
this work, I was being her. It was like I'm going to be her, and I'm a recovering alcoholic. Oh my God, I'm not going in a bar. She is so nice and so fun. The minute I start having fun with her, I'm going to have a drink. And so I guess, and I thought, wouldn't it be wonderful to have that much fun in Starbucks that you're hollering and laughing and they throw you out? We were a walking team and we had a coffee place and they literally told us that we couldn't come back anymore because we made too much noise laughing. So I'd be tempted to go myself if I was recovering alcohol, never go in a bar. The worst place to for me.
Yeah, no
So
need. What you're looking for can be found just about anywhere now.
yeah, and it's that lecture she gives her sister is herself to stop herself from drinking.
Hmm.
Sort of that would be what I would be doing. So mad seeing her doing what I'm stopping. And yeah, so I just I could see how amazing she was at seeing herself.
Yeah, just so courageous. Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
And a beginner, just not really um, experienced in the depth of where self-inquiry can take one. Yeah, really beautiful. Anna, Hey,
Hi
Anne.
everyone. Hi Katie.
Hi. So, what is your takeaway today from our these people that raised their hands today?
My big takeaway from Erin's great work, her courage. It's
Mm.
like it humbles me every time I'm here. It's so
Yeah, it's
I
like
love it.
taking off all of our clothes in front of the entire community and the courage. To me, that's the medicine. It's like if she can do it, we can do it. And there it is.
Yes, and also the love that showed up in her face
Mm.
process. So it not only the love for her sister, for your sister Erin was so visible, but also yeah, it was like the ego was so invited that it got still and this love could come up. So
Yeah,
it felt like I saw her fall in love with herself and
yeah,
yeah, and with her sister. So it was
yeah.
really, really moving and very beautiful.
Yeah, it's like we love when we love, and the ego doesn't seem to have a problem with it. It just keeps offering up unfinished business, and it's like a built-in system here in Earth School to understand what this world is, other than what we're thinking and believing. This is what I refer to as heaven, and boy, that is something the ego just, it's ego's our teacher here, waking up to reality. Thank you, Anna. Justin.
I I did the work along with Erin. First of all, Erin, thank you for um, Katie's always like re-anchoring you, and I could see the work like shifting in your face, just like Anna said. And I just felt like, and I thought I could sense that Katie was doing it for herself at the same time. And I was doing it. I saw my son, in your words, I saw a girl that I have interest in, all the same judgments, literally verbatim. What you were saying about your sister, I've been saying about this girl. And as you realized your problem with thinking these judgments as its own version of alcoholism, I noticed my alcoholism in that sense. And I, as you, and then as you started judging your judgments, right? And then Katie would like soften it and just say, like, oh, these thoughts are not new. They're happening to us. Like, I just was there. I was literally, it's like we were all on the same water slide.
Yeah, yeah, that's how it felt to me too.
And I'm so grateful. And I just had to say that. And thank you both. And everyone on the call. If you all raised your hands and said, yeah, what a great water slide, I'd be like, it wouldn't surprise me.
Yeah. Oh, thank you,
Thank you.
Thank you, Justin. Oh, Marina. Hi, honey. Your takeaway.
Hi, can you hear me?
Yes.
So I just want to thank you because I had a situation that I said like, oh, it's done. I can't do anything for it. And seeing today the talk you did, I just realized that I have to work a lot in my judgment for another reasons with my family.
Mhm.
So I really will do my work now
Oh,
in the worksheet.
that's so good. Yeah,
Thank you.
I'm willing to. I look forward to. It just invites us back. It invites us back. Okay, honey, thank you for that. Oh, those of you that raised your hands today, and thank you for your courage and for being our teachers today. And thank you all. Thank you all for something beautiful. And thanks for your contributions. Our plan is to be back here tomorrow and every Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. And again, thank you. Thank you all for something beautiful.